Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Guru Mafinda. Now, on yesterday's episode, we started off the new potatoes. We started off the Ulster Prince potatoes grown in the cut flower buckets that we get from Tesco's. Today, we're going to be starting off some Kelvedon Wonder, Exhibit A, Kelvedon Wonder, which are an early pea. Kind of a dwarf variety, but they're quite prolific, the Kelvedon Wonder. Hence the wonder in the name, I guess. But we're going to be starting these off in gutters, in rainwater gutters. I've got a small one today. I'm going to show you the method. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. We'll crack on. All right. Excuse me. So that's a short section of guttering. It's around about 1 metre-ish in length. What I've done is I've put some holes in for drainage. Not too many, but some. We're going to fill this up with compost, yeah? And then the holes will provide that drainage. But we don't want, because it's been, the piece are being started off inside the polytunnel, and today, especially, it's quite warm in here. It's 15 degrees today in here. So we don't want them to be drying out. We don't want too much evaporation, so I'm not putting too much of the drainage in. I am capping the ends off, as you can see. We've used some what do you call it, polystyrene flat sheets that I believe we got with I think it was a microwave oven that came with. But anyway, you can cut it to shape, which I have done. I've cut it to shape so it more or less fits in with the profile of the gutter on both sides. Now there's a couple of little gaps, but that's fine because we do want that, as I say, a little bit of drainage coming out from it. But it's just to hold, basically to hold in the growing medium, which is the clover compost. As we left it yesterday, we had all the buckets filled, and out of the 3 clover compost sacks, we've got about 20 litres left. So I'll be able to easily do this and fill this up, which I will do. I'm just going to fill it up with the compost. There is a little bit of nutrition in the compost because they're only going to be in here for about 4 weeks, the peas, before they actually go outside, if that. We're going to get them bursting through probably about 3 inches above ground level, and then they'll be planted outside, yeah, into the beds. So let's crack on. Oh, hi there. Right, so we've got our length of gutter. Drainage holes drilled in, 8mm drainage holes is what I'm using. It's just something to allow the moisture to wick away a little bit. And the ends covered. So all we're going to do is we're just going to get some of the compost, standard multi-purpose compost, and fill her up. Yeah. I'll just fill it up to the brim, to be honest with you, and fill the entire length. That's probably around about, I would say, 30 inches in length. I could measure it actually, but it's around about 30 inches. It's about 2.5 feet, the actual space where the compost is growing anyway. And this is for a short run that we're going to be doing at the end of one of the beds. We've got a couple of sort of like 3 feet by 6 feet beds. We've got plenty of 4 foot by 6 foot, but this is, I think, a 3 foot, and it's the one that's at the front that faces the dividing pathway. And we can put a couple of these in over the season, just to fill in gaps, you know, because it doesn't take very long. This time of year it takes a little bit longer than obviously later in the season for the peas to burst through. Some people soak their peas overnight, but I haven't really noticed much of a difference because it's going to be pretty soaked inside this gutter, at least initially. I'm going to get it very wet inside this gutter just to get them fired off. And because I'm probably only going to be able to probably come down on the Wednesday this week, I'll just be checking the dampness of the soil on Wednesday. with a damp meter, or you can use your finger. You stick your finger in, see if it's damp. But that's what we're doing. So we're going to fill it up there to the top, yeah, more or less all the way along, and then we'll get our peas. Now I say these Kelvedon Wonder, I used to call them Clevedon Wonder for some reason, because it's not Clevedon, that's just me being thick. The Kelvedon Wonder, these particular ones. You can get onward peas, we've got onward, early onward peas. But these Kelvedon Wonder, they can be sown from February through to July, so we can successionally sow these if we look after the pack. On the back of the packs there, you see, gives you some information, and on that information it's got sow by September 24. Anyway, these were £2.05 for approximately 350 seeds, which are peas. Any dried pea really should do it. These are more of a sort of a garden pea size. They're not like a marrow fat pea. They're more of a garden pea size. And what we'll be doing with these is, all the way along, put them all on top like that, just for the benefit of the audience. One there, one there. We'll do like a zigzag. One there, one there. As I say, we'll do them like a zigzag effect, with about 3 inches between each pea. They can be quite closely planted, the peas. Once they go outside onto the allotment, we're going to prepare the soil that they're going in and add the nutrition at that stage. In fact, where I'm going to be planting my peas, I'm going to be putting some manure in, digging it in preparedness for when the peas are ready to be planted out. So all the way along like that. Now they do like to be a couple of inches below ground level, which they will be, by doing this. There's your finger, second knuckle, down there you go. Okay, like that. Speed up a little bit. You'll have to take your time with that. Yep, that's all you do. In they go. Your surplus peas, put back into your packet. Remembering to seal it up. I'll give it a couple of folds over. And they'll be stored in a cool, dry place, ready for the next successional sowing of them. Right, so we've done that. You can just push the soil back in over the top, but what I like to do is give it a bit of this, just over the top, and press them down, so you get what you want to get is, you want to get a good soil contact with the whole pea, so the whole pea is engulfed and enveloped in your compost or your soil, and that contact with the soil assists then. It gives it the idea that, yeah, I'm underground, I'm in soil, I'd better start to hatch, and the dampness will soften up the shell, if you like, of the dry pea, and encourage it then to burst forth with its tendrils. So they're all in there now. I'm going to saturate that, but because it's such a narrow area, using a standard watering can, I'll just like sort of spread it all over, and you'll get water everywhere. So I've got a little watering can that I'm going to use just to do that, just to moisten the soil. But I'm going to give this about 3 litres, so it's about 1 litre per foot, yeah, ish. just to get it wet, to get everything wet, because you want it wet at this stage. Okay. All right, now I've just got my watering can. Yeah, this is a 2 litre one, and I'm going to methodically work my way along. And allow it to seep in, because otherwise you don't get that saturation all the way through, which is what you want. You want to get that saturation all the way through at this stage, so the peas get the idea that it's time to sprout and get going. As you can see, I'm doing it in a watering tray, so any excess water is collected there. It doesn't go all over the floor. But you allow it to soak. So I'll give it 2 litres, and then I'll give it another litre in a minute or two, once the initial soaking has done its job and got down, hopefully, to the base. You might think, oh, he's messing about there, isn't he? I suppose I am. But it shows the peas I love them. Doesn't it? Peas are relatively easy to grow. Pulses in general. But like with any plant, you've just got to be careful that you don't oversaturate, you don't undersaturate, you don't overfeed, you don't underfeed. And for the best results, it's a matter of trial and error, really. But this is a decent way of doing it. So we get a little bit more water and finish it off. Because as I say, I want to make sure that it's saturated all the way through. Okay. Okay. Back again. Just another sort of litre there. Just to finish it off. Like I say, inside the polytunnel, it is gonna be getting dried out, this, so I'm gonna have to come down and check on it to make sure that it ain't getting too dried out. You don't want it drying out, but you don't want it too saturated, because then the peas will start to rot off before they get a chance to come through. But yeah, it's amazing how much heat is retained through the daytime within these polytunnels. You know, you only need a bit of sunshine on them, and it's just amazing. This morning when I first came down, it was about 3 degrees outside, but in here it was like about 13 degrees, and at the moment it's like, well, about 20 minutes ago it was about 15 degrees, and it's just dropped a little bit again now. But yeah, that's what you want. That's why I'm starting them off now in the daytime, and hopefully overnight it'll still retain a bit of heat inside here, and tomorrow again you're going to get that firing on. Probably tomorrow afternoon the pea will start to be getting the idea that it needs to hatch. Yeah, it doesn't take long for the peas to start showing, so in a couple of weeks time, if that, the peas that are 2 inches below ground now should be showing. Usually takes about 10 to 14 days. In fact, let's have a look on here. Doesn't tell me. Anyway, it does. It takes between 10 to 14 days usually. This time of year, probably erring on the side of 14 to 16 days. But our next step will be to get them up away from those pesky mices. Okay, we're stood up now. As you can probably see, hopefully behind me, I've got these hoops these nooses, if you like, that are hanging off the central bar. Now the mouse will eat all of my peas if I leave them peas there. He'll get in tonight and he'll eat the lot. But if I hang them up here out of his way, it's very difficult, if nigh on impossible, for that mouse to get up there, get onto that bar, go all the way across, drop down into my peas and eat my peas. A ninja mouse could do it, but your standard mouse, probably not. So we've got them in the gutters. Just going to lift it out the gutter now. Lift it out the tray. Yeah, got them in the gutters. This should be funny because there's a lot of weight in this now. Not a lot of weight, but you know what I mean. Basically, they go in there. I've adjusted these hoops, to be honest, so that they're around about the right size, so it's a level, they're the right level. But that's all they are, they're just hoops. Hanging hoops. So I'll try and keep it straight, get it straight. Like that. You see the water dripping out from the drainage below. And then using our level against one of these straight edges, we can make sure that it is level. You can't see that, can you? But I can assure you it's level. Alright. And there they will stay. And again, every time I come down, I'm going to be coming down on Wednesday. I'm going to give them, I'm going to see what the soil's like, the moisture levels are like. And if needs be, give it a top up with this. So in order for me to ensure that this water isn't stone cold if I come down in the week, I'm going to fill that with water now, bring it back into here and leave it in this tunnel. Alright. So it doesn't shock the plants. Yeah. So they're clearly marked up there, Kelvin and Wonder. And there's around, I would say 21 peas. I'll have to look back and count them when I watch the video, but I'd say there's around 21 peas gone in there. And in that space, that's enough really. You don't want any more than that. There's my watering can that I filled up. That's going to be left in here to keep warm, so we don't shock the peas when we water them up on Wednesday, if they need it. Alright, and that's about it, boys and girls. All I need to do now is basically get me peas that I haven't used, of which there should be about 330-ish, back on here, out of harm's way, away from the measly mices, the measly mice. Alright, right, if I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. Remember, keep growing with your heads down. You've been beautiful, fragrant and fantastic as ever if you've been a lady. You've been forthright, virile and masculine if you've been a gentleman, and if you've been something in between, you've been something in between. And remember, we love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. Tatty bye, have a good week, guys. Get your peas in. Ta-da.